Hopefully, making this trade will help bolster our offensive line, at least into the offseason, and then see what we could do. As we hand this one off is Jordan Thomas, who plows into the end zone. As we go with one of our deeper play options of the day. And right across the middle, it's Jonathan Mingo, who takes the top off the defense. Though we will look for a move to the outside, as it is Chenault, and it's down to the end zone. He hits the pylon. Count it. We take a 3-score lead. We're already up several points. Why not just take the easy one? As we're having to step up by some space, and how about all of this green grass to the outside? Young does well to not panic, find the open area, and we tack on another first half touchdown. Pretty decent success is pass rush. We've lined up our best options, and as I say it, the rookie in sweat hits home, bringing up a 3rd and 12. At least getting in the face of quarterbacks. Leaves 3rd and long as Stewart dives in, gets the back of Carr, and will force a field goal attempt on 4th and 21. Barely been able to get anything like that this year, as there we go. It's the rookie Cash who shakes the tackle, sprinting away, diving in. We said 38 before. Well, it's going to be 40-plus points here today. Dominant showing. Offense, lights out. Defense, we got 2 sacks, we got a pick 6, only gave up 10 points. Maybe it's the power of the sleeve. And of course, after our best game, honestly, of this series, we would have Bryce Young be the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. 19 of 29, 224 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He was only sacked once. He ran the ball 5 times for 41 yards and another touchdown. However, every time that he's been Player of the Week, he's put his worst game right after. We need to make sure that that doesn't happen here today. And in a similar way to last episode, where it was a battle between us and the Saints for last place here of the NFC South, today's game is a battle for 2nd place of the NFC South. We could really swing ourselves forward, and depending how the Buccaneers do, we could pull back closer to them. They obviously had the win against us earlier on, but still, that would be a massive gain for us if we could get the win. And that's going to be a very tough task for our defense in particular. That's been the side that has struggled. Going up against Bijan Robinson, I expect a tough matchup here. Their quarterback is still Desmond Ridder. He's a 74 overall. Obviously, they have Robinson behind him, Algier, a great 1-2 punch. And then at receiver, they do have Drake London. Past him, nothing fantastic. So I imagine we just need one good cover guy today, which has been an issue for us, but we need to make sure we lock up Drake London. We also need to make sure that Kyle Pitts is not destroying us. We brought in a safety, traded for a safety this year in Sidney Brown, who is strictly a man cover guy. I am hoping that he matches up on Pitts well today. If it's not him, we're going to need Stockton, Deion Jones, or maybe even the other rookie linebacker gets a little bit of some playing time. As for their offensive line, though, it's a good one. They do have Taylor Decker in 84. They also have Jake Matthews in 83. And they could definitely move some guys around, as it's a drop down here at guard, 75 overall in Bergeron. Yeah, pretty sure that's Bergeron. Down the middle, Stanford man himself and Drew Dahlman, a 78. Chris Lindstrom, a 92. And then over on the other tackle spot, they do have McGarry, who is a 79. They also have a second-year guy in DeWan Jones, who could be a starting tackle elsewhere. So what I imagine they probably do is they have Decker and Matthews on the outside. So it's a very strong offensive line with another rookie here in Donovan Neighbors, who's a 74. This is going to be a dominant line for the future, and one we're going to see twice a year. Their defensive line, not exactly on that same level. They do have Zach Harrison, a young guy in his 2nd year out of Ohio State, who's 23 years old, 74 overall, and he'll probably get the start over Tyquan Lewis. At right end, Grady Jarrett, solid guy, 85 overall. And then down the middle, they do have David Onyemata, 81. So it's still a good defensive line, but not, as I mentioned, as good as their offensive line. For their linebackers, they do have Ibiketti. Probably butchered that one. He's a 79. Down the middle, Tranquil, 79. They also have Caden Ellis and Nate Landman. And with the defensive line they have, I imagine they're running a 3-4. So we'll see both of Ellis as well as Tranquil. And it's a solid middle linebacker group. Needs a little bit of some development. At right outside, they do have Trevis Gibson. He does actually have some decent finesse moves, a 77. As for their cornerback group, it's a solid group. Obviously, A.J. Terrell Jr., their best guy, but he is injured right now. So it's going to leave Jeff Okudah, their number 1, with Mike Hughes, the number 2. And then down in the slot, it will probably be D. Alford. Or maybe they will give it to the rookie here in Derek Barnes, who does have the future starter tag. At safety, Jesse Bates, solid. And then Grant Delpit, pretty solid as well, 84. So where it seems like we might have our most success is very similar to last week, some ground and pound game down the middle. Well, before we jump into this matchup, we do have some focus scouting we need to do today. And I haven't talked a whole lot about this draft class. I think we did a little brief overview. But there are a couple spots I want to go after to solidify where we're going in the first round, as most likely it's going to be defense. And we do have 3 options, all of which are needs for us. 2 of which are on the defensive line. Cortland Mincy out of Oregon, 6'5", 278, round 1 to 2 projection. He has power moves as well as block shedding. Would like to finish out some of the other grades or get close to finishing him out. So we have a better idea what his true talent is, so that could help us decide where we need to go. Right down the middle, there's also James Castaneda out of Notre Dame. He looks extremely promising, but there's some variance. He's a run stopper with B to D block shed. Power moves is A to C. However, in the Michigan State Only Challenge, we did draft someone who was a run stopper who had a lower grade there than at one of the pass rush moves. I don't remember exactly which. So if it ends up being B block shed and A power moves, that could be fantastic. So I want to make sure we get information on him. And then at the end of last episode, we talked about corner because Horn has been horrendous for us this year. And we have 2 solid options, more round 1 to 2 projections, Braden Chaney and Trey McPhee. This time around, I'm going to go with Trey McPhee because we don't have the zone coverage true rating. We have a range, A to C. If that's an A, he would probably be my preferred guy over Chaney, but we need to see if that's actually true. So those are going to be our focus scouts here. As for one more thing we're going to do here, roster-wise or depth chart-wise, we've seen some tremendous play in limited time from Jerome Sweat. He's gotten a sack last week, a tackle. He's gotten a lot of pressures in his limited snaps. So we're going to give him a chance today over Tristan Hill, who we really haven't seen do a whole lot. And that's going to be at the left end spot. He's not a very fast guy, but he has some ability, a little bit of some power moves, a little bit of some block shed. It's going down a little bit with some morale, but we're going to give him a chance a little bit more today and see if he can continue to make those runs, as well as having him out there as a rush DT. So we'll switch him out again with Tristan Hill, who we haven't seen do anything, and see if he takes advantage of this opportunity. But that fully gets us ready here for this battle against the Atlanta Falcons. Again, it's for second place in the NFC South in this weak division. Even with us being 3-6 in week 11, we are still possibly in the playoff hunt. Let this division battle begin as Koo boots us off. Hoots us off. That's not even a thing. Either way, we're looking for a return here from Sims, close to the 25, where the offense will head out after Sims actually shaken up on the return. So a little bit of a sad start to this game. As I did not mention, Corbett is back in this one from injury. He starts at right guard, and the guy we traded for is starting at center. As we start off with a gain of 7 to Chuba Hubbard, who's coming off a near 150-yard day. He had 102 on the ground, then near, I want to say it was like 30-something through the air. He got well involved last week, and it definitely helped us out. As we look for someone to go to here, underneath, it's going to be Isaiah Likely, who will pick up the first down, shake a couple guys, then get dropped at the 39. But of course, last episode we saw the power of the shooter sleeve come into effect for Bryce Young. It was a good game. We just need to see a little bit more of it as we find Hurst there was a little bit behind, but that actually helped us out as the defender wasn't able to jump it. And surprisingly, in our best game, Hurst didn't actually get that much involved. He did have some catches here and there, but he wasn't really one of our primary targets, as we've seen so often, as Young picks up the first down and kind of trips forward, picks up 9 in the process. But we definitely want to make sure we keep him clean. As we come out with a single high safety, they walk down Jesse Bates over to the left-hand side. We're going to go with the screen either way. Get some blocks set up. Hubbard to spring for the first down, close to the 30 and just squeaking inside as he gets dropped close to out of bounds, but the clock's still running. We also saw Akers have a couple big plays last week as he comes in for his first carry here. Just need some good blocks down the middle, and it was good enough. We pick up 2. This is the best offensive line that we've put out there with the addition that we traded with the Jets last episode, Mitchell. He took over essentially for Bozeman, who's just been really bad ever since we started, as we find likely his second grab gets us close to a first. Though we still have 1 yard to gain, and they are stacking the box here, so it's going to see whoever gets the better push. As they send the blitz, not well enough. We do pick up that first down, and let's get back to the line quickly here. See if we could pop off over the top as they do drop or switch the safeties. Fine by me. Let's just slide protection to the right-hand side. Mingo to the back pylon, got Hurst underneath. We've got options. We'll get this one out to Hurst, who gets by the defender, tries to lower the shoulder. He's down to the 1. Well, he's still been a really good player for us this year. We're starting to see a little bit of some regression from him even in season in Hurst. We have options underneath, but we need some good blocks to the right-hand side as Akers takes on Landman. It is Akers who wins it. Gets us into the end zone here to grab a lead at the end of our first possession. We brought him in to be our power back, and we haven't quite seen that power, but he does enough there, gets the job done, and now it's our defense's turn to see what they can do against this Atlanta Falcons offense. Want to see how much they focus on Robinson, as that one's tipped up, intended for Drake London. Fuller knocks it away. And it really hasn't been often we've gotten to give much praise to Fuller, so we'll give it to him when he makes a play. Brings up 2nd and 10. We send the blitz across the middle. They do find Pitts. It's a gain of 6. And that'll bring up today's first 3rd down. 3rd and 4 as they have 2 to the left, 1 to the right. We did well on 3rd downs last week, though a lot more options here for them to go as it's going to be thrown away. So defense does hold the first time out. We get the 3 and out. Though Ritter seems upset and looks like it's aimed at London. Perhaps he ran the wrong option route. Either way, it's good for us as our offense back out there. Chance to grow our lead as we get this one out. It's Hayden Hurst already with 2-3 catches in this one. Nice little stiff arm to finish that one up. And checking the stats, it is indeed his 3rd catch. 44 total yards as we're up to the 46. Look for another pass here as we're having to roll. Guys coming in. If we could get this one, actually, that's a good spot. Safer. Obviously, we were looking at Jennings there coming across, but he was going to get sandwiched, and most likely someone on the defense was going to make the play. And we missed the screen pass. That's a new one. So on 3rd and 10, a pretty quick 1st and 2nd down. We got 3 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. And it has Ross out there instead of Chenault. We might need to take a look at the depth chart here. Madden might have messed with it. But we do go out for Ross, and it's an incomplete pass, so we will also go 3 and out. So unfortunately, we miss out on a great opportunity there to try to increase our lead. Just need our defense to continue what we saw in that first time out. As Wanham gets some pressure, they get this one out to London, who's making up for his bad play the last time as he picks up the first down. Several broken tackles. But going off of what we just talked about there, we are starting Wanham today and Robinson. I did check as we were doing at the start of last episode, checking the tackles to see who they really are. Are they power or are they finesse? And unfortunately for us, they are really good at both. So we just put our 2 highest graded options out there, and we'll see what they can do. Wanham has had a very inconsistent play as there's a diving pick from Cash. He had the pick six last week and is just sitting the right place, right time this time. Pitts just wasn't able to get back over to it. Not an accurate throw. And we get to take back over. Honestly, you expect more from Pitts there. He just sat there flat-footed. But who didn't sit there flat-footed was Cash, diving in for it. Back out here on offense, we start in the 42. So plus territory. Like to pick up some points here. We got Hubbard sitting wide open, stay in bounds. He does. We'll sprint down inside the 15, pushed out at the 12. And we saw this team put together their best performance last week, and this through a combination of pass and run. Look for more of that here today as we do have Chenault back out there. Young trying to scramble will actually pick up one. Well, that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. We head into the second with a really good opportunity here to make it 14-0. We just need to play cleanly. And for the most part, that was something we did really well last week. We didn't take many chances. As we spread empty here, they got guys covered up pretty well. So let's make a check instead. I got a couple options going to these back pylons if we have enough time to throw it. Looking to make some moves here. Young scrambling to the outside, trying to find a corner, which he will barely. However, he's a bit shaken up after celebrating. He'll head over to the bench, and that'll bring out Max Dugan here, 3rd and 5. He's been scrambling around a lot of late, and that's something we need to probably limit. As we look for a quick stop here by Jennings, just need the goal line as they do bring down the safety. They send the blitz. Well, we have a drag instead. It's Isaiah Likely. Picked up, slammed down for the 1st and goal at the 2. If he wasn't picked up, not sure he gets the 1st down there, so we get a little bit of lucky. 1st and goal, we bring Akers back out. Look for a pulling guard to lead the way. Akers down to the 1. Now, a word from the medical team is it is a sprained ankle for Young, so we'll see if he gets back out there. As Dugan have to scramble for his life here, the pass rush arrived quickly, but he's pretty quick himself. Ends up running it in for the touchdown, and we do take a 2-score lead. But plays like that have me sitting here wondering of a comparative team that has essentially a 2-quarterback system that seemingly works no matter who's really out there, as we get a good stop on the outside. In terms of NFL teams, the only one I could really think of that have used multiple quarterbacks are the Minnesota Vikings, and we're clearly doing a whole lot better than the rotation of quarterbacks that they've been using. So that leaves me with college ball. And off the top of my head, I can't quite think of one that's really been truly successful. Switching out quarterbacks seemingly doesn't always work well as they pop up deep downfield. Van Jefferson is gone. And you can guess who gave up the play. It is Horn. And despite being really good until that point, the one play is a big one. Makes it 14-7 as we still have Dugan out here. Bryce Young being cautious in his return as Dugan steps up and will gain 2. Trying to limit as much of these lost yardage as possible as they do bring everyone down here. Making a check instead. An option deep potentially with Mingo. As we have a little bit of some play action, see how well it opens up. And it doesn't open up. Instead, it's a sack for Onyemata. He's gotten back here a few times. Leaves us with 3rd and very long as it's a wide open seam here. So we'll make a check as the play clock running out here. Sending the 4 verts. If we can get this right over the top, Hayden Hurst, it's underthrown. It's going to have to be a punt away. The momentum switching to the Falcons here. And as they start close to the 40 here, essentially at the 40, they need what, maybe 20, 15 yards to be field goal range here for Koo. So they are close as that one is thrown well by Ritter. Sends Pitts through the Gatorade cart, but it's a nice toss for 8. We needed a pass similar to that to get over the top of the linebacker. Would have been what we needed as Cash drops his 2nd pick. That should have been an easy one. But it at least brings up a 3rd down here. 3rd and 2, and I do have to say Cash has been on a good stretch of play, but we need to get a stop here as they go read option. We do not read it well, and they pick up the 1st. Credit the fullback there, Castle, pushing Ritter forward. Now, the defense definitely bit there on Robinson. It was a good play call. And good job from Ritter to stay up long enough to get that first. As everything was open wide downfield, what happened to Horn? He ran away from London, and now this game is tied up. Well, with a play like that, we might have to open up an investigation into gambling, shaving points, or something on Horn. Just in general of how his performance has been this year. Just makes you wonder. As we're out here on offense, that was not a good throw. Under pressure, though. Well, we got to get this offense moving once again. We've stalled out the last few times around. Need to get these things going. As we get the halfback screen out, follow some blocks. Hubbard is close, but it will be 3rd and 1. So far in this one, I feel like the run game blocking has been actually pretty good here for us. So 3rd and 1, we get stuffed. Of course we do. Right after I say that, back at the 32, while I would love to go for it, might be safer to punt this one away. And that leaves us really needing this defense to step up here late on in the first half. We're just over 2 minutes left. We could really use a big play. To the outside, it's Cash once again. And this will be the pick 6. He's not missing the second opportunity for it. Back-to-back weeks, the rookie in Jaquan Cash. I'm just waiting for his breakout opportunity. I want to say he's just a normal dev, but he's been playing really well over the last couple games. As I get this one to Robinson, who will pick up 7. So far through this game, as we do hit the 2-minute warning, they have not gone his way as often as I thought they would have, as we get a drop to the outside. Luckily, Fuller doesn't jump that one. Or apparently he caught it? I don't know about that. But they're going to say he did catch it. Back out to Jefferson, who Cash did not read well enough that time, and flips the field. They're down to the opposite 30. And only assume Cash, just as myself, was sitting there wondering how that was even a catch for a first down, and was not ready for the next play as they go to Robinson. Breaks the tackle of Deion Jones and will not get by Gardner Johnson, but it's a gain of 8. And we did have an injury during a punt, and it was to the rookie in Hodgins, so I was hoping to get him out as Horn. How is that not a pick? You've got to be shaving points. Just be honest with us at this point. I mean, something's going on with Horn, because he is not playing the way that he should be. 3rd and 2. They got a guy sitting right across the middle. It is London angling back towards the middle. He's got him down inside the 5. And we could really use the D-line showing up here. 1st and goal. There's under 30 seconds left. They throw it out wide. Stockton was there, but Pitts froze him. And they end up tying this one up going into halftime. So a little mix of good and bad play in that first half, and it's a true battle here in division, as we also have a divisional game. Hopefully it pops up at halftime, but 21-21 here, and we need to make sure we clean some things up. But let's look around the league, see if we get the Bucs-Saints game. That's really the big one. If we don't, I could definitely point it out at some point. There we go. It is going to be the Bucs and the Saints. And it's Saints up going into halftime, 28-14. If the Saints can pull off this win, that would greatly help us, as long as we also pull off the win. So that's an important one to keep an eye on throughout this game. Cowboys taking on the Commanders. It's all the Cowboys, 21-0, as the Cowboys are 8-1. 3 first half touchdowns for Prescott. Sam Howell, though, hasn't completed a pass on 3 attempts, so pretty much the exact opposite. As for the final update, we do have the Patriots taking on the Jets, and it's a close one there, a 2-point game, 9-7 with the Patriots on top. Both teams with 4 wins, looking for that 5th. Meanwhile, we're sitting here looking for some bigger plays here from our defense in the second half, as the Falcons do start off on offense, and they go to Robinson, who gets by Stockton, looking for some lanes as he picks up a good chunk, only his 3rd carry today. And I expect if they get him going a lot more in this second half, he could definitely flip the way that this game has been moving. As they go to him once again, he just keeps finding lanes, as it's a great play there from Sidney Brown. Fights off 3 blockers to get the stop, but it's another first down run. And by no means is this team really known for stopping the run. We don't really have that main guy down the middle who's been doing that this season. As they go with a drag route, it's London, who's going to pick up 7. Now, it wasn't a very clean start for Ritter or his offense, London included, but they've definitely got things going as there's a great stop from Wanham. We'll bring up 3rd and 3. And it's hopefully not one that we get too aggressive on, as we're sending everyone here. Expect the play as he shakes the tackle. It's going to be a first down. Should have been a sack. This might be a touchdown, as once again, Horn doesn't get the stop. Dion Kitchens with all the blocks downfield. Falcons take the lead. And at least a little bit of some good news as we start the second half for our offense here. We're trailing by a touchdown, but Bryce Young is back out, as he's going to get smacked on the very first play. Credit that one to Ellis. Absolutely demolished on that hit. Luckily, it wasn't a flag, because that was full body weight down on Bryce Young. As we're having to scramble around here, trying to find somewhere to go. There's quite not much to go to unless Hurst can make the play. No, instead the sideline does here for us, but it's 3rd and 18. Offense definitely not as good as the first few drives, but we need a big play here. 3rd and long. As we toss it up, it's nowhere close. They sent the house, and the house wins. And funnily enough, they did the same exact thing which we tried to do on the previous 3rd down where our defense, and we gave up the big play. We sent everyone. Nearly had it. They were obviously way better in both those attempts, but we need the big plays here. Great tackle there from Cash. If we're to start crawling back in this one, even though we're only down a touchdown, but momentum-wise, we got to start making some big plays here on defense. That'll definitely help out as Sweat provides some pressure. They dump this one off Robinson, who's not getting away from Stockton. And we could get off the field after this play. 3rd and 9. They got 3 to the left-hand side. Pitts lone to the right. Robinson in the backfield. They have a couple crossing routes, and they will go to Pitts, and Cash with the easy tackle there. We'll get the ball back. Right now, defensive MVP is definitely Cash. As our offense back out there, they sent a lot of blitzes last time. I'm sure they're trying to rattle the already shaken ankle of Young, and they're blowing up our screen passes. Definitely got to get some things going here as they come out double A gap look, single high safety. If we could get something deep downfield that might back him off a little bit. They send the corner blitz. We check this one down Hurst. 3rd and 9. Need to get the ball to about the 37 for the first down. There doesn't look like they're bringing any pressure. They just bring the 4. Get this one out to Likely, who's close. 4th and 2 up at the 35. Want to see at least how they line up here. 4th and 2. It is risky, and they stack the box here. Hard count, no one jumps. We're going to be aggressive. Need someone to get open. We go back to Likely, and it's overthrown. Hubbard was also open downfield, but it doesn't matter. The throw was bad, and it's a turnover on downs. So what was shaping up to be a very offensive game, now angling more towards defensive, as we need our defense to make a big play here. As obviously we're starting them off in pretty good territories. They make a couple audibles. We're going to stick with our audible. Can send Cash. Also blitz from the middle. As it opens up, we get a hit in on Ritter. It's not a sack, though. But you can tell the defense feeling some of the weight of this game on them, as the offense has yet to score in a little while. As they hand this one off, it's a good stop there from Stockton. Brings up another 3rd. Though as we sit here at the 30, it is field goal range. They come out 2 tight ends to the left, 2 receivers to the right. They will throw for it, and they dump it off. Picking up the first down is Kitchens. He had their go-ahead touchdown and has them going ahead this drive down to the 17. Now, what we haven't seen much of today is any big plays from Sweat. Getting that start. He's gotten a pressure, but that's just about it. Only one play as they get that one out to Pitts, past the diving Sidney Brown. And he has a 1st and goal. But with space closing up here, we need someone to make the big play. Turnover would be great. At least stopping, well, I assume they're going to go often to the outside. Robinson stretches, but does not get the outside. But he does take us to the 4th quarter. We are already down a touchdown. Defense has to hold here. We could give up a field goal, but a touchdown make things difficult. And they'll start with an empty set here. 2nd and goal. Sending guys across the middle. Here comes Sweat as he gets the sack. Dropping them back at the 18 for 3rd and goal. 3rd and very long of a goal. And we just got to make sure we don't mess this one up. They got 3 to the right, London lone to the left. Touchdown is all they could do here. Or they could get a field goal, obviously, later as another sack comes in. It's Grover Stewart. So the defense bows up. Will just force the field goal attempt here from Koo. As it's about at the 27, it is right down the middle. But we need this offense to get going. It's been way too long. We're going to check to a run here as they just have the 3 down and a linebacker. Pop-offs for some nice yardage here as it's close to a first down. Gain of 9, we're back to the line quickly here. A little bit over 6.5 minutes left in this one. We need to move quickly and efficiently as Young just scrambles here, picking up the first down, forcing Okudah to hurdle over him. Maybe just take away some of that stamina with it as we're continuing the hurry-up offense here. Draw down the safety to one side, rolling out, coming across. It's an iffy throw that gets tipped into Bates' hands. That's why you do not throw cross-body. Panicked. He didn't need to. Should have either just kept carrying towards the edge, trying to find the corner, or just throw it out of bounds. Far safer to do either one of those. Instead, close to field goal range once again here for the Falcons as Robinson just sent our DT flying. And he'll pick up 7 on the play, leaving 2nd and 3. We need a turnover really from this defense. That would be huge for us as we send the blitz. It's Robinson open, who holds onto it through the contact. We'll pick up the first down to the 27. But as a lot of these games go, we're the ones costing ourselves right now. So we're the ones that are going to have to get us going as it looks like a false start from the offense. So that'll definitely help us out, give us a little boost. It is 1st and 15 back at the 32. They got 3 tight ends on the right-hand side. They hand this one off Robinson, and we meet him at the line. He still ends up picking up 2 on the play, but I would count that one as a win as they throw that one off the back of the helmet, I believe, from the offensive lineman. That time, Sweat getting driven back actually ended up working out pretty well for us. It is 3rd and 13. Need to stop here on defense as they flood one side, and we'll have it open, but it's an overthrow. We force another field goal attempt here. Though time not on our side. As Q with another opportunity. Will nail this one as he did before. Make it 34-21. We need some touchdowns quickly. And most importantly, I think we need that shoot or sleeve arm magic to start to happen here. We start spread to either side. They take away the route we wanted to go. Leaves things wide open here for Young, who's sprinting on that sprained ankle and picks up a lot of yards up to midfield. That is just one thing I will never take away from Young in this series. He is playing hard through a lot of injury. As we have pretty much everyone flooding one side of the field, we get this one out for Hubbard, take the few yards and get out of bounds, stop the clock. And at this time, we need some big shots down the field. We're a little bit over 4 minutes left. We're down 2 touchdowns here. If we could get Jennings on the sideline, it is tipped, and that tip nearly sent it right on back to Jesse Bates. Once again, if it was maybe a little bit higher, it gets to the target. Either way, it's 3rd and 7 here. Double A gap look. They back out of the blitz. Needing to find somewhere to roll. There is nowhere to roll. Split sack leaves 4th and 13. Offensive line definitely has not held up as well today, but we're facing a much better pass rush than that of the Saints. First down for us is a little shy of the opposite 40. Hard count, no one jumps. Need to find a first down here. Somewhere across the middle, rifle it in, but it goes to Okudah. No one got open. We took a shot. But right now, the Falcons carry all the momentum. And just as I talked about at the beginning of this episode, every time Bryce Young is a NFC Player of the Week, the following game is never a good one, as we do pretty well to contain Robinson there. But up to this point, he's still averaging about 5 yards a carry. We need a turnover here from the defense. They're close to field goal range, and that would be costly for us. As they go back to Robinson, we at least clog the middle, and we do pretty well. Gain of 1. But really, the rest of the game sits on this play. 3rd and 9. They could let this one hit the 2-minute before they snap the ball. We'll see if that's what they do. No, we'll get a free timeout instead. As they check this one down, it's Pitts. That will be field goal range. We are already down 13. This would make it 16. It's still a 2-score game, but that is 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. And we haven't scored this half. But that's what we're going to have to do. And we just need some huge plays. It's nothing easy for sure, but we need some big ones. As we start with 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Need someone to open up here. How about we get this one out to Hurst, who does bring it in over the top of Ellis. And well, that's one of the big ones we needed for sure. Try to keep things going here. Jennings to the left-hand side, Hurst as well. Who's going to get open? Once again, it's Hurst sitting wide open. It's another big chunk play. Getting right back to it. We have to save some of these timeouts. As we flip the play here, we need to get the ball back as well, and that might require us kicking the ball back if we could even get the touchdown. Kicking the ball back, as they say that's a fumble. That Gibson will return to ice this game. We'll have to check the replay. Looked like that arm was going forward. Should have counted as an incomplete pass. Well, let's see. So as they come in, I am wrong. The ball was moving backwards. He did not get that forward motion going. It's a fantastic play by Grady Jarrett, and it ends this one. The Falcons, they played a great game today. It was a tight one in that first half, but in the second, they forced us into making a lot of bad decisions offensively. Young playing injured, and that just is never a good combination. We did fairly well in stopping some of their biggest playmakers. And if we were just looking at the first half, we demolished Ritter. I mean, he had 2 interceptions, maybe a touchdown, I believe, in that first half. He turned it on, though, in the second for sure. Robinson, 11 carries, 55 yards. Honestly, I feel like that's a bit of a win. They definitely, though, did a great job in taking Chuba Hubbard out of our game plan. Only 7 rushes, 40 yards, and we really didn't get him going much in the passing game either. 5 catches, 54 does seem like a good bit for a running back, but typically that's a lot more. Van Jefferson, he popped off 1 big play. Drake London, again, he had 1 big play that gave him most of those yards. So all in all, I think we did pretty well. Kyle Pitts, 6 catches, 40 yards. I feel like we did decently well against him. So it was just a game that it came down to the turnovers that were forced. We took too many chances, and those chances cost us. Couple bad turnovers on key drives, and then the sack fumble there at the end definitely hurt. We were driving. I was feeling good at maybe a potential comeback late. We just weren't able to get the job done. Another part where we didn't get the job done is blocking-wise. Moten and Christensen are the only ones credited with giving up a sack. I feel like there was definitely more than that. We were scrambling around a lot just to try to have some amount of time to throw the ball. Though I do have to say, defensively, we saw a great game from Jaquan Cash. Can't take that away. He played phenomenal. But it's a little bit concerning, as after this game, he was awarded Defensive NFC Player of the Week with his 5 tackles, 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick 6. And it seems like getting this award is kind of the new Madden curse, because after every single time we get a guy who has one of these, it is not a great game to follow. So hopefully that does not continue, but hopefully you continue. Stick around, hit that barrack on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the sub button. They both do the same thing in subscribing, so you do not miss essentially a copy-paste version of what we just went through the last 2 games. As once again, we're going to play the Saints in a battle for bottom of the NFC South. And then after that, we go and play the Falcons in a quick rematch in what could also possibly be a battle for second or third, depending on what happens around the league. Obviously, we're still 2 wins behind these other guys, but that could be big. With that win, the Falcons did take first in the NFC South. So a lot of things changing up. But before we go, let's just take a look and see if we got any more information on those 3 players that we had the focus scout. And first off, Trey McPhee, no, didn't get anything. Madden, can you please fix that? Castaneda, no, not a single thing. Anything for Mincy? Yes, we're up to an 80. So we got 30% for 1 guy, 0% for 2. I mean, just fix your game, Madden. But Cortland Mincy here, he looks like he's a fantastic athlete. He would be a left or right end. And maybe we have to switch to a 4-3 going into the next year, because right now, the outside linebacker guys, they're not getting the job done. But Cortland Mincy is looking pretty promising here. He does not have finesse, but he has a whole lot of power moves. That is an A, as well as awareness, with B for block shedding, play rec, hit power, tackle, injury, maybe even pursuit, though that could also be an A, maybe even impact block. So all in all, Cortland Mincy is looking like a really good defensive lineman, and we need as much help at that spot as possible. And speaking of defensive linemen, with the play we saw today, I think Jerome Sweat continues to get the start. He got the sack today. He had some pressure. We need to see if he could continue to build. Unfortunately, he's just a normal dev. And if I'm not mistaken, we did actually draft a defensive lineman who is a hidden dev. We did in Solomon Rout. He's a 63, true 65. He has some power moves. So we might need to get him out there a little bit too, see what he could do, because up to this point of the season, he hasn't had a single snap. So we'll continue getting some guys some snaps. Unfortunately, one guy will not be getting some, and that is Greg Hodgins, our first pick of this class. He had an abdominal tear on a punt return. I was trying to get him actually out there and had him scheduled to go out in the base formations, but he had an abdominal tear. He's going to miss the next 3 games, and then after he gets back, I plan on putting him out there full go, even in the nickel, because we need to get him developing for sure. He is a hidden dev. Deion Jones has just been the better cover guy, so he's continued to be out there, but we'll look for him to get his first start when he makes his return. So do not miss out. As mentioned before, hit the buttons. Make sure you tap the bell icon as well so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, we have the state-only challenge that is a really big one tomorrow. Our first playoff game, divisional round. We win, we continue on, we lose. It's the end of the series. And as it's playoffs, is also if we win and the video gets 50 likes, next round posted the next day. So you could have double uploads on Thursday. And if we make the Super Bowl and you guys, once again, hit the like goal, double upload on Friday for a potential Super Bowl. So a lot coming. Stick around, and we'll see you guys next time for a rematch versus the Saints.